folks, I'm keeping this one clean today to reach a broader audience. But don't worry, I'll be back again tomorrow with Lester and our usual F-bomb session. All right, folks, Counsel Vinny Gambini here, and today I'm stepping in, not just as your favorite cousin, but as a legal observer with a very specific question. What exactly are they trying to hide? Because based on what we just saw, something about this narrative smells like a 3-day-old lasagna left in a hot car. We're talking about the tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk, a man of faith, family, and courage, the kind of guy who didn't just talk about values, he lived them. So before we dive into the inconsistencies, let's make it crystal clear. This isn't about sensationalism, this is about truth. And as a lawyer, I know truth doesn't run from questions. Let's go straight to the crime scene. According to the FBI, the shooter used a .30-06 hunting rifle. For those unfamiliar, that's not your average pop gun. That's a long firearm, high caliber, high visibility, and highly inconvenient to sneak into a rooftop in a small backpack. Now, let's play this out. The shooter is seen running off the roof with nothing but a tiny backpack. There's no rifle in his hands. There's no rifle strapped to his back. That backpack couldn't even hold a disassembled .30-06, and even if it could, the barrel would be sticking out like a sore thumb. And yet, hours later, a rifle magically appears in the woods nearby. Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay, speculation, and possibly fiction. Now let's look at this rationally. If you're a shooter, regardless of motive, why on earth would you plant a decoy rifle? Why risk fingerprints, DNA, and leaving behind a weapon linked to you? Makes no tactical or legal sense. Furthermore, the surveillance doesn't show him carrying a weapon to the scene, and it doesn't show him leaving with one either. And unless this guy had the upper body strength of a professional linebacker and the stealth of a magician, he's not hauling that kind of gun in secret, which means either that rifle was not the murder weapon or someone intentionally placed it there after the fact. And if that's true, then we got a cover-up, or at the very least, a misleading narrative. Let's talk about this bullet engraving. Catch fascist. Sounds clever, real edgy, but let's be honest. That phrase ain't exactly homegrown from a right-wing manifesto. That sounds like Antifa speak. That's activist language, not something you hear at a hunting lodge or gun range. So what is it? An intentional message? A calling card? A breadcrumb from someone trying to pin a political motive that doesn't quite align with the facts? Folks, this ain't adding up. Here's what burns me the most. Every time something like this happens, the press rushes out like it's a speed dating session with the truth. First he was trans, then the bullets had transgender symbols, then it was a hate crime, then suddenly it's a clean-cut valedictorian who just snapped. Which is it? Now the guy's in custody, but no one's asking the most basic forensic question. Where is the actual murder weapon? Not a similar model, not a conveniently located substitute in the trees. The real one. Until that gun is accounted for, nothing about this adds up. Look, I'm not here to play politics. I'm not here to grandstand. I'm here to ask the question any decent defense attorney would. If the prosecution says this was the weapon, but all the video, physics, and logic say it couldn't be, then where's the real evidence? Because if they can lie about the gun, what else did they lie about? Let this be clear. Justice for Charlie doesn't stop at an arrest. It stops when the story checks out with facts, not feelings. Until then, I rest my case. For now. Vinny out. Hold up. Hold up. I was about to walk off and close my file on this case, but wouldn't you know it, brand new info just dropped, and I ain't about to ignore it. Turns out, the very same so-called conspiracy theories that got laughed off the airwaves, yeah, those are now being confirmed by the FBI. I'm talking about Alex Jones. Yeah, that guy. And believe me, I never thought I'd be saying this in court, but the man was right. A book called The Shooting of Charlie Kirk, published the day before the assassination? Are you kidding me? What, we got time travelers now? Who in their right mind publishes a step-by-step account of a tragedy before it happens? That ain't just suspicious. That's premeditated. That's script writing. Premature headlines, time-stamped articles, even a creepy song titled Charlie Kirk Dead at 31 released weeks in advance. You don't get that many coincidences in one case unless somebody's writing the ending before the crime's even committed. And now we've got a $100,000 reward, engraved ammo with Antifa slogans, FBI agents saying straight up, this was a political assassination. Not a lone wolf, not a hate crime, a targeted hit job. And still, the media's trying to dress it up like modern art with terms like cultural symbols. Give me a break. And if that's not enough, the FBI traced the sniper's nest. Knees in the gravel, rifle grooves, elbow prints, the whole nine. Everything Alex Jones warned about is now federal evidence. So yeah, I'm not walking off just yet. Because if they're admitting Jones was right, we got a bigger problem than we thought. And now, I gotta ask, if they knew Charlie was the first, who's next? Because now we're in 9/11 territory. A line got crossed, and nothing's ever gonna be the same again. Vinny Gambini, back on the record. Okay, now I'm out of here. See you all soon.